Have you ever wondered if you can turn Rangoli powders into watercolors? If you are from India, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I stumbled upon these colorful powders and I could not resist. Piles and piles of beautiful Rangoli powders. They are also known as Kolam powder in the south of India. As a paint maker, of course, I had to wonder if I can turn this into watercolors. Today I'll be testing these pigments and to see if we can turn them into usable watercolors. This video is for anyone who's trying to start paint making in India, where it's honestly really hard to source authentic mineral pigments. In fact, it had to be imported from other countries, but that's all right. We have lots and lots of pigments in the streets of India. Let's see if we can make paints out of them. To make watercolors, we need pigments and a binder. We mix those together and you get watercolor. First thing in this video, we will be seeing how to make a watercolor binder. We have pigments, that is Rangoli pigments. We will be using a homemade watercolor binder. You can find binders in stores. If you have access to it, you can completely skip this step. First, we will be looking at the recipe of the watercolor binder. Next, we will look at the pigments I have. We're going to see the pigments, the texture, and we'll talk a little bit about it. Third, we will mix them together and make watercolor paints. After we make the watercolor paints, we'll let them dry in little pans. We will swatch the watercolors and see how good they perform. In the end, we will compare the paints made with Rangoli powder with paints made with mineral pigments and see what are the differences. And finally, I will be sharing my honest thoughts on if you should try this. Of course, you can try alongside me and experiment and have fun. Paint making is an amazing and relaxing hobby. So if you like to try that, you can of course try it alongside me and see how it goes. So let's get started with making the binder recipe. Here I have my gum arabic powder. I have a little bit of clove oil. We have distilled water. 3 ingredients and a jar to mix the binder in. I'm adding 100 grams today. Now I'm gonna add 200 ml distilled water. And then 2 to 3 drops of clove oil. You could also add vegetable glycerin if you like. It's completely optional. It only makes the paints a little more smoother. Here we have all the pigments. I was really confused which one to pick, so I picked everything that was there. First, I will sift it and see, and then we'll start making paints. By then, the binder will also set a little bit better. They look like a beautiful rainbow. I'll get back my measuring scale. Now I feel that sifting is not really needed because the pigments are really fine already. They have approximately 30 grams of pigment in it. It'll be really easy to mix with the binder, I feel, but we'll know when we try it out. So let's start with this beautiful teal pigment. 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of binder. So here I am just doing like 1:1. So here we have 15 ml in 1 tablespoon, and here we have 30 grams. So I'm doing a 1:1 ratio of pigment versus the binder. It definitely looks like we need some more. I can see the pigments just crumpling up around the binder, but they are not really mixing. So we will add some more. 1 more. To smoothen it, I will also add some water. Again, I'm adding distilled water here. Okay, so the best part about these paints are that since they are dye-based pigments I can see that I do not have to mull the paint, and all the pigments quickly, like super quickly, dispersed into the binder. If you wish to go one step further to mull it, then you could use the bottom of a candle stand, or you could use a glass muller like this, but it's not really essential because usually with mineral pigments it takes time for it to bind into the pigment, but this I can completely see that the pigment has already dispersed into the binder so quickly. Like I didn't put much effort into binding it together. This paint looks so beautiful. Wow. Okay, let's try a watered down version. This is the most effortless paint I've ever made. Wow. I have these little eyeshadow tins, I think. Yeah, usually eyeshadows are filled in them. You could also use these regular watercolor pens to fill these paints in. I was truly surprised at how vivid the colors turned out on paper. They're really joyful and very pleasant looking colors, and there was no residue on the paper. I thought they might be a little chalky because they are dye-based pigments. However, they turned out really beautiful, and I was so surprised. We did not add chalk, but if you want it to be more opaque instead of transparent, you can always add some calcium carbonate or some chalk powder. It will lighten the color a little bit, but they will be opaque and not transparent like watercolors. The aim of this video was to make some transparent watercolors, so we have achieved that. Okay, here is something I would like to share with you. This is how the paints look. There are some bubbles, there are some cracks. That is all normal. This is the yellow paint that I made. Yellow in the middle looks bright, and around it you see darker yellow. This is a sign that I have added way too much binder. This is the same yellow, but after I started using it, all the binder started floating on the top and it looks shiny. And another mistake I did was with the yellow paints, I let them dry in a container which was moist, which made it catch mold. You can of course scrape the mold off and use it. Already I messed up by adding too much binder. I think I can't do anything with this. This opens up things for a lot of Indian makers out there. Go ahead and try making these paints at home. Now let's break it down and see the pros and cons of using Rangoli powders. They are super affordable. I bought it for 5 rupees per packet, and per pack approximately holds around 30 grams. They are also easily available in the Indian streets and markets. I'm not sure if it's available throughout the year, but I have seen them during the festive seasons. They have a really beautiful color range. The colors are so vibrant. They're so playful and joyful, and if you like to mute them, you can mix them with complementary colors a little bit and play around with combinations, and you will find a little bit of muted colors. And yes, they are great for beginners. They are great for experimenting. If you like to see if paint making is a hobby you would want to pursue, this is a great starting point. And there are no import fees. A lot of mineral pigments are sourced from outside India. Now let's go to the drawbacks of using Rangoli powders. These pigments are dye-based, hence they are not light fast. So if you are going to be painting some archival work or something you want to preserve over time, this is not a great choice. However, if you like to paint, put it in your sketchbook, or if it's closed somewhere inside, it's all right. The paint will fade over time if it's exposed to sunlight. So some traditional watercolor methods may not work since they are dye-based paints. They work exactly like watercolors. However, if you are trying to lift paint with a dry brush, they work when the paint is wet, but once it's dry, it's really hard to pick and lift watercolors off the paper. Third disadvantage is it is hard to know if they have fillers in them, or if there are synthetic dyes, or if they are natural dyes. The authenticity of it is not known. Sometimes they can feel a little dusty. These pigments are sold on roadsides, so there might be a little bit of dust. I noticed some dust in the yellow pigment, but I'm not so sure. I didn't see it while painting, but I did feel the dust while I was making paints. So one thing you can do is sieve the pigments, or sift it a little bit and try to remove any dust that is there, but I don't know if you can completely remove it. Paints are great for sketchbook practice or for learning how to make paint. They are not meant for archival work, for a finished artwork that you meant for it to last. So it's not for those. However, if you look at mineral pigments, they are natural. They last really long. They are tricky to source in India. They have mostly a good light fastness rate of 8 and above, and they are often muted colors. I don't think I have seen bright colors in mineral pigments. I do have some of them. I do have a yellow, but it was not as bright as the Rangoli powder I got. I wanted to share this video because I know a lot of Indian artists who feel limited by the lack of pigments in India. Your creativity does not need to find the perfect supply. Try what you do have access to and keep experimenting. If you try try this at home, do tag me and I would love to see the paints you made. If you are interested in learning more about paint making, I have a couple of videos on my channel and I have a couple more coming. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.